Hey developers, today we have a very special episode. Today I'm going to talk about my 2019 goals as well as some of the goals I had in 2018. I'm going to rank how well I was able to get those goals accomplished, and then I'm going to talk about some cool new stuff I have coming up for next year. So in this video, I'm going to open up the kimono a bit, I guess, and show you a little bit about some of the things that I do in this channel, some of the things that I want, kind of long-term goals. And yeah, I'm going to talk about a little bit about the process of how I make YouTube videos as well. So I think this will be very interesting if you like the type of content and you want to learn a little bit more about how a YouTuber works in 2018. Definitely check this out and you'll learn a lot. And I also brought on Dylan Israel to help me out. Now he is another content creator. He owns the YouTube channel Dylan Israel. It was formerly known as Coding Tutorials 360. He gives a lot of great advice to developers out there, so I'll put a link to his channel below. But basically, we both go over our goals that we have for 2019 and some cool things that are coming up. So make sure you watch all the way to the end. And before we start, I'll go through a quick sponsor update. We'll go through my sponsor, and then we'll start the interview. So sit back. This is going to definitely be a long episode, so help me out. Watch it all the way to the end. I think you'll be very surprised. Thanks. Let me tell you guys about this amazing team management tool, Monday.com. Now, Monday.com is perfect for any size team. Doesn't matter if you have 2 freelancers working together or thousands of collaborators across the globe. It's perfect for any of those scenarios. It's also great for development teams and non-development teams. So you can have your HR, production. They can all use this tool to keep track of everything they need to do in their everyday work. It's very intuitive. You can connect people to processes. It's colorful and very beautiful. It's really simple, but not simplistic. So I would recommend you guys check out Monday.com. Make sure you click on that link in the description below and you can get a 14-day free trial. Make sure you check out Monday.com. Cool. All right. Well, the reason I have Dylan on today is, I've been a person that always likes to put out goals. I think Dylan is very goal focused. He's done a lot of crazy things in the last few years, the way he's taught himself how to become a developer and got his first job a few years ago. I think maybe just doing this publicly would be fun, just to talk about our goals and things what we want to accomplish in 2019. And I think we're just going to kind of go back and forth. How's that sound?
Sounds good. I think goals are like an excellent thing to talk about because sometimes people make the assumption that they're just going to get there and it'll just work itself out. While in reality, not only do you have to have a goal, you have to have a roadmap to actually achieve that goal.
Yeah, I think there's so many things. We could probably have a whole podcast on like different types of ways to do goals. Actually, I'm not perfect at it yet, but definitely having a roadmap or having an idea is good. I did write some goals down from 2018. So these weren't public, but I figure I'm going to start doing these more public. So that way I have a little bit of a record of what I said. And then maybe, next December I can go through it. So I'm just going to go real quickly. You tell me what you think about these, Dylan. So these are my goals for 2018. I wrote them down on a piece of paper here. So my goal, one of my first goals for 2018, I'll just recap these and then we'll go into 2019, was to create 4 courses, create a course a quarter, the first one by April 1st, and spend an hour or 2 a week on it. And as you can imagine, I only ended up creating 1 course last year. That's my Create Awesome Vue.js Apps with Nuxt.js course. And I ended up not getting that done by April. It was more closer to July. So I guess if I was going to give myself a 1 to 5 scale, I'd probably give myself a 2 on this, for 1 being low and 5 being high.
That was one of my goals as well, not as detailed, but really to release a course on Udemy. And I did release 4 technically. I really consider it 2 because kind of 2 of them were sort of small project ones, but I felt like I got a lot out of it. And so I don't know if I'm going to give myself a score, but I felt like I accomplished the goal.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe I'll give a score here from 1 to 5. That's cool. You got 4 out. That's amazing. That's something that, how did you do that?
So you were talking about like ways to accomplish the goal. The only way that I know is to work at it every day, in like just every day, step forward, step forward, step forward. And so hour a day. And then on the weekends, like a degenerate amount of time. So like 8 hours a day, and just that continual grind.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely. I I'll get back to this goal. It actually has related to something else I did this year in 2018 that caused me not to be able to get those done. One is one thing I ran into. For those of you who know, I was writing a book called Vue.js in Action this year, and it just got released in September. And that book was I had by the end of 2017, I had everything except 2 chapters written. And really, when I wrote these goals last year, I was hoping that by the time April rolled around of 2018, that I would have my book done. But what happened was that I ended up going on a few trips, and I kind of had I had to go back to a previous chapter in the book and rewrite it. And so by the time April came around and really May, the book wasn't done yet. I think I still had like a partial of the last chapter to write. And so the book kind of pushed all my goals off because I figured that I had a commitment to do the book, and that was more important than doing the course. So I did get the book done, but it was a few months later than I wanted to. So I'd give myself like a 3 of the goal of finishing the book strong. It definitely got delayed, but the book got done.
Yeah, and oftentimes that's what happens with goals, right? Like life gets in the way. Before you know it, you're having another kid or a family member sick, or you lose your job, whatever it is. Life happens, right? And so like you may not get there when you wanted, but the important thing is just to get there.
Yeah, exactly. We got there. So ramp up. My third goal of 2018 was to ramp up my YouTube videos and get back to 3 a week, and then do more course reviews for Udemy. So I think I definitely did that. So I'm going to give myself a good 4 or 5 out of 5 out of that. 2018 was definitely a year I wanted to do a little bit more on YouTube. I think most weeks I did 3 videos. I think several of them I ended up doing 2. Like last week I only did 2 videos. But I think just being more consistent was what I needed. And as you know, as another YouTuber, that's really important.
Yeah, so consistency, like people ask, oh, I'm going to start a programming channel. I was like, all right, don't start with like 11 videos a week. Just try and do 1. And like make sure that you do 1 for the next 3 years. Like that's it. Have that consistency. And like this year I started off with a goal of 2. And then, life happened. And I ended up dropping down to about one a week for the last 2-3 months or so. But I think I'm happy with that, as well as my goal was to do a live stream every week. Was one of my goals this year, and something I've been able to stick to. And I particularly enjoy them because I think you get to really, I think it's, I always have said that mentoring, I think, is a big part of growing as a developer. And I think you have some sort of responsibility as well. And that's just one way that I try and do it.
And I've listened to your live streams. Sometimes I'll just put it up on YouTube, and I'll listen to it in the car, almost like a podcast. Because you can do that.
People particularly like the ones where I come home angry or something, and I'm very passionate about it. About probably for about 15 minutes, I'm the most passionate software developer you've ever seen. But they're a lot of fun.
So you would say you hit your 2 for most part, except the last month or 2.
Yeah, I think it worked out really well.
Cool. One thing I kind of gave up on here, my 4th goal of 2018 was to post 1 blog a week and 1 email a week to my email list. And I completely failed on that. I think I did it like maybe 3 or 4, maybe like 5-6 times this whole last year. If you don't know, I actually have a blog. It's called programwitheric.com, which is something I used to do back in the day before I started doing YouTube. But I just found it was like one too many things to do. And so I kind of gave up on it.
Yeah, and that I can say for me, like there's so much, like especially when you're a passionate individual about and you just sort of enjoy it all, that one of the hardest things is just to focus on 1 or 2 things, and then you're like, well, I want to do this, 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 and this, and that's something I suffer with, and I have to sort of pull myself back as well.
Yeah, it's tough. I think as developers, we have a lot of ideas, and none of them work out. One I did well at the beginning of the year, I think this is on a lot of people's lists, was to get in shape and lose weight. I was trying to lose 20 pounds by May. And I think at the beginning of the year, just like everybody else, I was like, cool, I'm gonna get in shape. And I went to the gym a bunch, and then I lost probably 10 pounds. And then the second half of the year, I literally gained like 15 pounds. I'm now that's gonna probably be a new goal for 2019 when we talk about them. But yeah, being at the desk all day is just killing me.
My girlfriend wishes I cared about the way that I looked. Maybe in 2019 we'll change that. I just don't even have the time right now. But you got to focus on your health. It's true. That's what she keeps telling me. The only thing I've been doing for my health is start drinking like green drinks. That's about it.
Yeah, but you've been going to the gym, right?
I have a home gym that I work in. So it got cold in Florida, and cold in Florida is like 60. And so the garage is a little cold to work out in where I put it. But I need to get back in shape.
Yeah, I think that's at least for me, that's important. I guess one thing, I guess I have two more quick ones. They were kind of bonus ones that I just threw in there. I got really into getting these goals last year. I'm like, I'm gonna get 10 goals, which is probably not a good idea. So one was to guest post, do a podcast interviews, trying one every other week, once or at least once a month. And I actually ended up doing 2 or 3 podcast interviews the whole year, which was pretty bad. I actually co-host a podcast called Views on View, which I don't really talk about that much, but it's a podcast about Vue.js. But I only did 2 or 3. Actually, I kind of interviewed with one of your coworkers too. I think he owns a podcast.
Yeah, on the Six Figure Dev, my tech lead. It's the first one of his podcasts I've listened to. It's really good.
Yeah, in fact, I had no idea you guys knew each other. That's so funny. It's like a small world. They were really cool. That was an awesome interview too. And then my last kind of stretch bonus goal for 2018 was to set up more date nights, some more family time. And I think I exceeded that. I think, it's being super busy. I have 2 kids, family, setting up more time with the family, trying to set up date nights is extremely important. And I think I've done a better job at doing that.
Yeah, that's also something April wishes was on the list. But eventually, I need another year or 2 of work before I can start focusing on that.
Yeah. Well, you guys, I mean, Florida, there's probably so many things you guys can do out there.
Yeah. So like 3.5 years ago, I told her I was going to work every day and just sort of, and it's been working out, and I have another year, but she does say that I need to spend more time with her, but it's not, it will be on 2020. It's on the agenda, but 2019, I have 1 year left to work nonstop. So.
Cool. All right. Well, that was my recap of 2018 and Dylan's, some of his goals that he talked about too. So let's talk about 2019. I think we both have lists here of goals that we want to try to accomplish, and we can talk about them. So do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Sure.
So
go for it.
2019 for me is about the first major project I have very project focused goals, but I started a book, sort of my own take on the complete software developer's career guide, if you want to think of it that way. One of those types of books, sort of a high level overview of a lot of topics that I'm interested in. I started that, and I'm about 20,000 words into it, and I want to finish that by the end of the year. That's one of my goals.
Now, by the end of the year, are we talking about like November, December of 2019?
As long as it's done going into 2020, I'll be good. I plan to have it released by 2020.
Okay, so it's gonna be for sale by the end of 2019. Okay, cool. I'm looking forward to that. I know you have a lot of cool stories and experience. My first one of 2019 it's kind of gonna be funny, but I've been resisting it, but I'm going to try to learn React. Just kind of a small little goal that I've been avoiding. you've said it many times. Many other people said it every time. I think there was a huge survey that just came out. React is still definitely the #1 most popular front end framework, and I had actually taken some time and looked at it earlier this year because I was going to do a mini course on it, but I never got farther than that. But I keep on hearing a lot of cool stuff coming out of the Facebook world. I heard and the React world, and how a lot of other frameworks are taking a look at it. So I definitely want to spend maybe just a couple weeks, maybe do a couple of video tutorials. I think that's going to be my definition of learning React. I'm not going to be an expert in any sort, but I definitely want to put some projects together for it. What do you got next?
Yeah, another goal of mine is to actually launch a web application. So I have a couple ideas for a sort of a video documentation type site that I want to not only have it, I'm considering building it in Ionic so that it can compile to an app as well. But I currently in the phase where I want to get some mockups for it, and I'm going to build the CRUD service that I need to utilize it. But that's something that I want to launch. If it's not that web application, another one, but I want to fully have a launch web application where people can go to the site and it does what it needs to do, and add that to sort of my resume.
Now, is it going to be a site that anybody can use, and is it going to be free or pay? Or
yeah, the goal for it as of now, and I say this having written maybe 1,000 lines of code for it, so it's fairly a new project, is to have it be free, maybe make some money off AdSense, and then down the road, who knows, make it a freemium product. Might add some premium functionality.
Cool. Do you got a domain and everything for it, or?
I do have a domain, yes.
Cool. So I guess it'll be we'll hear more about it the weeks coming around. Awesome. My next goal is to speak at one conference next year. I've spoke at local conferences, like local meetups, but I've never spoke at an actual conference with more than 100 people. And I really liked that's kind of just a bucket goal of mine, that I just get the idea of going somewhere. And actually, in fact, one of the caveats I want to say is that I want it to be at least part of it to be paid for, either my ticket in for free or they actually pay for my flight. That's kind of one of the things that I want to do. So it's something that I actually earlier this year, there was a conference in 2019. It would have been just right next door to where you live, Dylan, but I didn't get it. I didn't get the speaker gig there. So
are you talking about DevFest Florida?
No, it was a different one. Although, is that another one coming up soon?
Yeah, it's one in January. It's coming up. It's in Orlando.
So there's hundreds of conferences. Not hundreds. Well, maybe there's probably hundreds of development conferences all over the United States, and I just want to cut my teeth and try public speaking once, and give a really cool talk on a topic that I love, either something in the Vue.js world or serverless or some combination of the two.
Nice. Yeah, that's actually one of my goals as well, is to go to a conference, which is I'm going to DevFest Florida in Orlando. I'm hoping to knock that one out in so I want to say second or third week of January. So I already have my ticket purchased. I'll be there if anybody wants to say hello. But also to give some talks at meetups. I'm not quite ready to jump on the conference stage quite yet, but I think I can provide some value at meetups, and it's something I haven't done yet. So those are I guess 2 goals that I'll be having in 2019.
So you've never talked at a meetup?
No. I recently reached out to my buddy who volunteers quite frequently for an organization, and so it sounds like it might happen pretty soon. I might give some talks on Angular and JavaScript and TypeScript.
Sweet. Yeah, I think it's fun to get out there in front of a bunch of people. I've never had a bad experience talking at local meetups. Sometimes I get questions I don't know the answers to, but I'm like, I'll just be honest, I'm not quite sure about that one. But other than that, cool. So I have a couple of more. One of my goals is kind of broken up into 2 things, and it's more of a money type goal. So, of course, as you guys know, that me and Dylan both do this. We spend hundreds of our own time and get paid nothing to do these tutorials and get on YouTube here. We do get paid obviously in like AdSense and sponsorships and things like that. But one thing that I would like to do is, to finish that thought, we do spend a lot of time that we don't get paid anything for, and we just do it because we like to teach people and connect with community. But one thing I want to do is to kind of 2x my monthly earnings. One way I was thinking about doing that is to create a second course next year. And I want to kind of really focus on the people that would be interested in a course. So I give a lot of free stuff. So people who want my free stuff, you can always watch this YouTube channel, go to my blog. But for those who want like more teaching, more hand holding, more specific information, I'm definitely looking to create a course next year and have some premium pricing. I'm kind of debating. I was talking before this call with Dylan if I'm going to put on Udemy, which I might try, or if I want to put on my own course platform. So we'll see. I'm excited about that. I want to try to get that out definitely before May of next year.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a yearly goal. My yearly goal is to make sure I make more money than I did last year. Up to a point. I'm not one of those people that need to be making $1 million a year, but I have a certain goal. I want to pay off about a third of my house, maybe a quarter, by the end of the year, and then I want to continue to monetize to the best of my ability anything that I'm working on. Sort of the added benefit of YouTube is that not only do you get to continue on things that you're passionate about and enjoy, but you also can make a little bit of money out of it. And so that's going to be a fun goal as well.
You're going to monetize all the things.
Monetize all the things. I assure you, all the things are going to be monetized. So just continue with YouTube, build some courses. I have a very large, I want to say, looking at the scope of the project, it's going to take me 6 months to build it. Like, it's a very large project. That's going to be my next course. And the book, and then I'm doing the quality assurance coding boot camp and a couple certs I have to do. So 2019 is going to be a pretty active year so that I can kind of coast in 2020, I think.
Yeah, just put in the hard work now.
Yeah.
Part of that goal too for me is, like you, I want to continue with YouTube. I probably want to do 1 or 2 sponsors a month. Hopefully I can work with sponsorships. I've been very fortunate to have the ones I've had now. Maybe I'll reach out to more, and I'd love to just keep growing the YouTube channel. I'm not sure what that looks like. Maybe if I could at least maintain the amount of views and minutes watched I have, that'd be great. But if I could grow it like 1.5x it, the YouTube views and minutes watched, I think that would be a good solid platform to keep going as time goes on.
That's all I got that I can think of. I'm sure I have other goals, but much like keeping focus on one project, I don't want to have this video by the end of 2019 and everyone's like, "What happened, Dylan?" We're here to find out if you did everything you said you were going to do. I can do what I said. I don't want to throw any more out there for now.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, the only other, I have one more goal, and that's just to work out, lose 15, 20 pounds. Kind of my goal that I had last year that I failed on. So if I can lose a little bit of weight next year, that would be perfect. So it sounds like from next year, you are really going to be focusing on the book, releasing this new course, this website, and then make sure that you just continue on with YouTube and make sure that your time is well spent. It sounds like busy year.
Yeah. It's going to be a year of work, much like the last 3 or 4. And so just every year, just keep on keeping on.
So when you think you hit 2020, if you hit all these goals, you're going to take a break then?
I will. So my focus is going to shift to finance. So I've actually wanted to, for quite some time, learn more about options trading, stocks, and that will be more of my focus. Real estate. So taking some of this passive income that we've been able to make, as well as current income, and then start actually educating myself about how I can take this sort of nest egg and then put it in the right places and not necessarily have other people do it for me. So that's sort of something I want to do in 2020. I'll still have other goals, but in terms of software, I'll probably continue the YouTube channel and maybe one course for the year. But Besides that, I'm going to be focusing my direction elsewhere.
Yeah, that's something I've always been thinking about too, is try to figure out if I could do, how can I do passive income, make maybe real estate. I'm always thinking about that. It feels like every time I go down that road though, it's like, well, I need to have X amount of dollars to put down on a property. And that's like a whole new world of like investment and stuff I don't know anything about. So
Yeah, specifically in the real estate market, what I would like to do is buy like a fourplex, like a 4 2-bedroom 1 bath apartment complex, and I've seen some in the Tampa area for like 300,000. So it's I mean it's within reason, but that's a whole nother lifetime from now. 2020 is a bit away.
awesome. Cool. All right. I think that's good. I think we've have these all in this video now. So maybe at the end of 2019, we'll revisit these, see how well we did, and then make some new goals after that. So cool. All right. Thanks, Dylan.
I appreciate it.
All right. Later.